making that connection and the relationship the number one priority is going to help your children flourish. Hi everyone, my name is Karen Bates. I am a writer and I am the homeschool mother of 8 kids ages 2 to 20. So a little about me. I was born in Mexico City. My family moved to Utah when I was 7 and I basically grew up here. When my husband and I got married, we lived all over. We moved to Kentucky and Maryland, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, and then now we're back here in Utah. I love to be outdoors, anything in nature, and I love reading and writing. Right now, my greatest love, besides being a mother, is helping other mothers learn how to raise intrinsically motivated children so that they can have the time and energy that they need to do their part with their unique gifts and talents in the fight for good, while creating a inspiring home environment so that their kids can also reach their potential. And so I've created the Warrior Journey program at warrioreducation.com, where I help mothers learn to keep and practice keeping a peaceful heart and raising children who choose to work hard and learn and serve the people around them and put away their distractions, while also making an impact, a powerful impact in the world for good through your unique gifts and talents. So that's what I'm currently working on and what I love and love to teach. I started homeschooling probably 13 years ago when my oldest was going to go into 3rd grade. It took me about 1.5 years to have the courage to try it. I started thinking about it when she was in 1st, and I started walking with a friend who was homeschooling her 1st grader, and he wasn't getting along with his teacher, so she pulled him out of school and she started telling me about some of the reading materials that she was giving him and some of the things they were doing together, and I started thinking, I want to do some of that. And as I started trying to do it with my daughter when she'd get home from school, I realized I just didn't have the time and she didn't have the energy after her long day of school to learn some of these things or to necessarily have this kind of education that my friend was trying to give her son. And so I started to think a little bit more about it at that time, but I was afraid. I didn't think I would do a good job and I didn't know how. So I started reading up on it a little bit and I started looking into half-day programs. But we found out we were moving. We were living in Baltimore when she was in 1st grade, and we moved to Texas when she was in 2nd. But then we found out we were moving to Utah when she was going to go into 3rd, in the middle of her 3rd grade year. And I thought, well, this would be a really good year to try it. We won't have to move her in the middle of the school year, and we can kind of start to see what it's like. So I brought it up to my husband, and I said, maybe we should try this year. And he was, of course, also a little worried. And he said, homeschoolers are weird. We don't want to go that route. And I knew some homeschoolers and they were a little weird. And I said, yeah, I've read some books that talk about that and about some other things. So I gave him a stack of books and I said, would you read these and then we can discuss it and talk about it? And he saw the stack of books and he was like, you know what? I'm just going to trust you on this. You've read all those things. We're going to go ahead and try it and we'll move forward. So that was good, and we decided to try it. It was hard at first. Like, I remember crying a lot when we'd go to bed because my schedule did not go at all like I had planned. We didn't get to nearly all the things I wanted to get to. My kids weren't listening like I thought they should, and I had things prepared for them, but they weren't necessarily wanting to learn them. And so that was hard for me. And it took me a while to kind of adjust and to start to realize that it had to be a lifestyle. It couldn't be like sit down school every day. It had to be something that we learn together. And so as I started to kind of get into that mode and started learning how to do that, it became a lot more joyful and happy. And I am so grateful for the opportunity that I've had to homeschool, because it's taught me so much. I've learned so much and grown so much through it. And our kids are close. They're good friends with one another, and I feel close to them. And so it's been such a blessing for our family. I think if I had any advice to give to people who are thinking about homeschooling or who are starting out, it would be to separate an education from skills. And so I think that's one of the things that I kind of started to realize early on, was that skills were hard. And if I started to tell them, like, this is school and we're gonna learn to read, or we're gonna learn to write, or we're gonna learn math, it started to feel like school was not something that they enjoyed. But when they realized, like, an education is going out in nature and being curious and learning things and reading books and learning about new cultures and places and people, and how that was really exciting. But in order to be able to do that, we needed to have some skills like reading and writing and some math in order to understand the world. And so part of our family work time, after we're done with our family work, is skill time. And they each have a certain skills they're working on, and they'll work on those before they get to learn or get an education or read, or the things that they enjoy doing. And so separating that, I think, was something that was really helpful to our family. Another thing would be to be forgiving with yourself, to realize that you are just practicing as they are, and life is about practice. And so don't get discouraged when things don't go according to plan, and don't get too rigid on a schedule or think the way you think things should go, because your kids have agency and they're not always going to have the same vision you have. And part of the tricky thing is to help them see that vision and to want it. But as they're practicing and you're trying, just don't get discouraged, and don't beat yourself up. Be forgiving and joyful about your practice, and be willing to make mistakes together and learn from them and move on and try again the next day. The kids are not going to learn in an environment where they're feeling forced. They may regurgitate some things and learn to memorize some things that they'll forget later. But when they feel loved and they have that connection to God and that inspiration that comes through Him, then they will learn and they will flourish. And so making a love-centered environment, it's not necessarily learning all the academics. Those will come, and they will want them when they are inspired to learn. The other thing that I've noticed that a lot of moms worry about is that they're not going to be doing enough, or worry that they don't give their children enough opportunities or teach them the things that they're going to need to know for whatever career path is ahead of them, right? We don't know what their gifts and talents are right from the beginning. And so how do we know we're giving them what they need? Enough science or enough math or enough dance lessons or whatever it may be. And one thing that I've learned about that is that they will start to find ways that they enjoy serving, or that they enjoy, that bring them joy, and they will ask them from us. And so we don't have to be like busily trying to put them into every little thing to make sure that they get it, but they will naturally, it's in them already. That seed will grow and swell, and then they'll ask us, and they'll say, "Oh, Mom, this happened with my 11-year-old. Can I get a violin? I really want to." Like when none of us play the violin, I don't know where it came from, but he just decided that that's something he wanted to do, and he asked about it often enough that I finally decided, maybe this is something that he does need to learn to do. And so those seeds are in there, and expose them to a variety of experiences, of course, but don't feel like they have to learn everything. As they're exposed to the different experiences, they'll find something that catches their eye, and they'll start to look more into it, and then they'll develop that within themselves. So don't stress out about doing enough. If you're nurturing them with love, that seed will grow, and they will find ways to make it and to accomplish those things that they're here to do. So I hope that's helpful. Good luck on your homeschooling journey. Have our devotional, or pretend we're having